Or have you ever walked in and somebody tried to give you something free? You're like, no, it's okay. I don't want your crap.
Yeah, I don't take anything free from anybody. Like the guy that called me up the other day and said, "Hey, have you tried a new streaming service?" And I'm like, No, I'm cool with the streaming service.
No, but I'm talking about like
streaming service I have.
At the Masters.
But you get it for free.
This weekend. And we will have that leaderboard update.
John Daly giving out T-shirts again this year? No?
I would take that. Natty Light is giving away beer. And I think if I walked into the Masters and was like, here you go, have a Natty Light.
I'd take one.
No.
I'd take one.
Not when I could get a Firestone or...
You can't get a Firestone, though.
You can't? Are you sure?
No, Augusta, no.
I would rather drink a Miller Lite than a Natty Light. I would say, you know what, I'll pay for a Natty Light over... I'm sorry, I'll pay for a Miller Lite over a Natty Light.
I think the beer choices at the Masters aren't that good.
805-543-3693 on the 805 lines. You can call or text this in on the same number, 543-3693. What is the last free thing that you turned down? P writes in, that's what he goes by on Facebook. He says a free 3-night stay at a golf course in Palm Springs, $500 value.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. $500 down on my credit card or my credit for a deposit, but I got to act now.
All you have to do is listen to 72 hours of sales pitch pounding you in the face. About how you could be a member of this exclusive club.
The last thing that you turned down because it was free and you turned it down. Go ahead.
A all expense paid cruise, but you had to go to a timeshare presentation.
Well, those can't be that bad. What, maybe a couple of hours?
In theory, minimum 90 minutes, and that's only up until they send in the first closer.
Yeah, the closers. You know, it's funny because when I've been to timeshare presentations and they say 90 minutes, I set a timer. And I tell them right when I sit down, they said I only had to be here 90 minutes, and I have a timer running on my watch. And at an hour and 25 minutes, I'm like, we're at the 5-minute warning. And then we just get up and leave. Wait. There's somebody else who want to give you some more free stuff. I'm like, nope, we're done. See you later.
That job.
Thanks for breakfast.
That job is so high pressure.
It's got to be the worst sales job
It's
ever.
got to be the worst sales job of any sales job. And it's got to be on 100% commission because they are desperate to get you in on the timeshare. And I mean, to the point where you almost feel bad for not doing it. I mean, that's what they try to make you feel. They try to make you feel bad, and you're like, oh man, I just want to let this guy make his rent. So I'm going to hand over truckloads of cash for the rest of my life just so I could go to a place for a week.
What is the last free thing you turned down? Matt writes in, he says, nothing is free. Yeah, I agree with you there, buddy. Hi, thanks for hanging on. Go ahead.
This is Jack.
Hey, Jack.
The last thing I turned down was the free frozen yogurt.
And why did you turn down the free frozen yogurt?
Oh, I was full, I guess.
You were full. Okay. All right. Appreciate the call.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Hey, you asked the question, okay? What's the last free thing you turned down? Whatever the reason is.
That was great. I said it. I said that was great.
Whatever the reason is whatever the reason is.
What are you hearing the sarcasm in my voice? How about a free, all-expense paid 6-day cruise to the Bahamas?
How did you guys learn about your timeshare? Because I'm always curious as to how one gets into it, because usually it's through a free presentation and you get signed up. And
ours was completely different. It was probably one of the websites that you go to find a place. What had happened is we had gone on a cruise with my family, and I proposed to my wife, and it was one of these cruises on the West Coast that goes down to Puerto Vallarta. And, you end up going to Cabo San Lucas, and we liked Cabo San Lucas the best out of these few stops that we made. So we wanted to go back there. And she found this place, and we didn't even know it was a timeshare until we got there. And they said, hey, listen, if you come to this meeting, then we'll give you half off on any excursion you want to do, as many as you want. So you want to go scuba, you want to go wave runners, you want to go sailing, you want to go dinner cruise, whatever, whale watching. Then all these prices, and it was a pretty good deal because I remember we got wave runners for $50. We each got our own for 2 hours, and that's normally like $100 an hour. So
I bet you could have negotiated the guy down to that, though. It's Mexico, right?
I don't know. It's not the same as it used to be, especially down there. It's like an extension of California, I feel like, or So, but yeah, I mean, sure. I think everything's negotiable down there too, to a certain extent. But anyway, so then we went there and
you could have just walked. You said, "Hey, I can go sit through a presentation for 90 minutes, or you can give me this Brave Wave Runner for $50."
Yeah, they had a gal that was talking to us, and we were 35-ish, I think. What was that, about 9 years ago? So yeah. So, anyways, we were in our mid 30s, and the gal that sat down with us was in her mid to early 30s, and she was really cute. And so I was like, all right, she's nice. She's not high pressure or anything. And
because she was cute.
And I told her, I said, hey, listen.
Isn't that part of the plan? Isn't that why they hire cute people for those jobs?
Well, they weren't all cute. But she was, and I was remember trying not to be too nice because my wife was sitting next to me and I didn't want her to like give me the elbow, like, hey, knock it off. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we could relate to her, and we were like, listen, we don't have a bunch of money to do this. We're trying to save to buy a house, and we're paying for college and all this kind of stuff.
But you got a house 1 week a year in Cabo San Lucas.
And so the deal was that they just kept going down and down, and like, well, here's what a lot of us do that are younger that can't afford is for $5,000 you can come down for a week every other year. And you can, we got a great deal on it. And so I said, here's the deal. If you pay for our hotel stay this trip, because it was about $2,000. I said, if you pay for, if you can get them to waive our bill for our room, for the hotel room, then we'll do it. And so we saved $2,000 on the stay that we were going to have to pay. And then, we got this other deal. So. It was just kind of a weird thing, and I honestly, I'm not a big fan of timeshares at all, and I think 99% of them are really a bad deal unless you can find that one niche.
I think that's what everybody who buys into a timeshare says.
Exactly, right?
99% of them are a bad deal except for the one I got in on. My parents say the same thing, yet they're scrambling around Utah.
Well, I'm sure.
Come November, trying to make sure that they get all their credits. And I'm like, Utah? Who goes to Utah in November?
Anybody that's bought a timeshare, I don't know. I would love to sit down and see what they paid and what they get, and I bet you I get about the same. And they might have paid a lot more. I don't know.
I guarantee you don't get the same because you're not scrambling around trying to make sure that you can take enough vacation to justify your purchase.
So anyways, last thing you turn down for free, James says, a solar presentation. See, I'm very curious about the solar presentation.
This is the year.
Because I want to learn more about it. And we're coming right up to...
this year. If you don't get it this year, you don't get the biggest tax credit that you can get. Next year, the tax credit comes down. The year after that,
what are you waiting
for? It comes down even more.
Reinvest in your property.
Because it's expensive. It's really expensive. It's money I don't have right now.
See, I've heard deals where it doesn't cost you anything to do this, pretty much.
It doesn't cost you anything except for all this money up front.
Subscribe to the Jeff and Jeremy podcast now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. It's your Central Coast commute-friendly podcast.